after a few guides and after a few round videos, it's time we make something more light-hearted. It's time we talk about power creep in NIKKE, and specifically on the collab characters, the abnormal units. I don't want to be talking about power creep itself. I think we all understand power creep happens on idle games way more than something like, for example, Honkai Star Rail, Genshin, Wuwa, etc., right? Where you get a character every 3 weeks, and in here you're getting 30 characters a month. Like, I think we all can understand power creep is almost inevitable in idle games. It's just some gachas handle it better than others. And in the case of NIKKE, there is barely any reruns. We've had one rerun so far, two reruns so far, which at least is something. But they don't even move these characters when they get the rerun, so there's barely any reasons to pull for these abnormal characters, unless you are missing them and you want to be a collector. So today's topic is going to be categorizing and talking a little bit about all of the abnormal characters and how fast they got power crept. So we're gonna have like multiple tiers, right? Let's jump here into the website a little bit. While I set this up, as usual, beautiful people, leave a like, subscribe, help me get on the channel. What are you doing, right? And I don't know if I did the introduction or not, but hello there, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. And today's topic is going to be abnormal characters and how fast they get power crept. I think we can categorize them on probably 3 different categories, right? Which is the characters that were literally one patch, and then they got absolutely power crept. They are useless already. You have the characters that can be a little bit of a copium, and then the characters that even to this day is still holding up. That's too long, too big. Copium, this is just like usable, okay? Some of them are meta, but this is like usable. So we have like those 3 categories, I think. For characters that abnormal in terms of the collaborations we've had, and how they've been treated. And I think we can start, of course, we're gonna be ignoring the SR characters. You all know they are useless in NIKKE, so we don't need to worry about this. I'll try to go in order, but I don't remember the order of everything. So let's start with actually Makima and Power, okay? And these 2 characters were literally, they were actually a little bit more of one patch. To be fair, these characters were like, what, a few patches we were able to use them, and not even that much. When Power came out, she was the alternative to Laplace. That's it. To Laplace without the treasure. She was better than Laplace without the treasure, which is not really that great by today's standards, right? So she barely got any usage, even when we talk about fire rates. And then Makima, to be fair, Makima got some usage, still nowadays on PvP. And then when we talk about PvE, she did get some usage for train. God bless team videos. Does he still has those videos, like the free train videos? Those were like pretty fucking good. There you go, 2 years ago. Why Makima free train soon? Those were like the fucking goat videos. Shout out to team. So she got some usage there. After that, nothing else. I'm pretty sure then we got NieR, the NieR collab. Now, these were a little bit better. They were a little bit better, and I will say they are copium characters. They are 2 characters that by today's standard they are not that great, but you've seen to be used still on some of the content when it comes to fire, mostly on Cinderella teams. I will say A2 lasted way less. She was one of those one patch characters that after a patch we kind of forgot about her because shift up and actually releasing bosses with respawnable parts was never something they really did. Same problem as Summer Sakura, for example, and characters like that. So she was more of a one patch, and then 2B is kind of like the copium character. She could still be scaling in the future more if we keep getting characters at the scale of HP, like the characters we have right now, giving, you know, like 120 to 100% attack. If we get those characters for HP, she might see some usage, but it's copium at this point. I don't know if ReZero was the collab we got afterwards or not, but this is another collab that literally lasted a patch. The worst part about this, by the way, I will say, first of all, Emilia is still using PvP, I think, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, right? Emilia was the same situation, another character that was like, oh, better than Laplace, better than Power, right? Like finally another rocket launcher we can use, better than A2 as well. But then after the first raid, when she came out, she didn't get that much usage. Now, she's not a useless character. I will say she could be almost copium. I would be more inclined to put copium Rem, just because supports tend to last longer in this game. But the problem is that they release Rem, and the next character, or pretty close, right? 1 or 2 characters afterwards, they release Grown. So there's barely any reasons to why people would use her. The biggest problem with Rem is just that her heals, her sustain is decent, but her buffs are not big enough. Like when we talk about newer characters, they clearly have way stronger buffs, right? Like if you talk about something like, let's say, even your Bunny 8, it's giving you on every burst 55% attack damage, a lot of pierce, and then if you get the attack, it's also giving decent attack, even if it's only a 13%. But Rem just doesn't cut it. Her sustain is decent for rocket launchers, but that's about it. So other than Copium, I will say she was another one-punch character that got power crept and forgotten almost instantly. After that, I don't know if we got the first Evangelion part, and I'm gonna be honest, those are good. Evangelion are great characters. Now, I will always say the same, I know some people disagree, but in my opinion, both Reis are more Copium, which by the way, these characters on Copium could be more than Copium fillers, if you want, right, like fillers, because they are used in some raids. It's harder to see them nowadays, but you can still see them. So Fire Ray is actually in that category. And then after Evangelion, I'm pretty sure we got the other Evangelion collab, which has the same thing. Both Asukas are usable. Wind Asuka is a lot stronger than Fire Asuka. Fire Asuka is not bad by any means, by the way. Both of them are really good. Clearly, Kim loves Asuka too much because they are both really good in contrast to both Reis that are mostly supports. I could even do this and put Fire Ray on usable because she's a great buffer, while Wind Ray, it's mostly a Copium character that isn't even used almost on like any content unless it's a raid. So we'll put her as a filler, but she's basically an in-between, almost getting phased out because people, unless they use her with Asuka, do not even bother. Now I also forgot about Mary, which by the way, it's another great character. She's one of those characters that ever since she was released, up until recently, she didn't get power correct. We're talking about the character that literally up until now was used on every single raid on the Electro team, and even if it wasn't Electro team, on teams with Pierce. Now, she's gonna be maybe getting a little bit less usage thanks to aid, but that depends on if you pulled for her or build her or not, right? A lot of people might have Mari build and want to save resources, so they don't have aid, which would be understandable. And then lastly, we need to go, of course, over Stellar Blade, probably my favorite collab because, well, the booty. We can put Raven on usable, and we could put, if it's a 50-50, she's a good unit, but she's a buffer. When it comes to her own DPS, right, like we could put her here, just like Raven. When it comes to her own DPS, it's not a bad character, it's not an awful unit, but you're using her mostly because her damage is consistent and she's buffing the damage of everyone on your team as well, which is fantastic with the skill 1 with this damage taken increased by 10%. 10, 10, 10 by the way. Shift up, I'm running out of materials, I need some burst manuals. I beg of you, make another Drake event, please. But that will be probably how I would categorize the characters right now in terms of power creep, because a lot of times we talk about power creep and how bad it is, but I don't think it is that bad. I think, yes, it's an idle game, we see power creep, we see characters instantly like Rem, Emilia, A2 power getting power crept, but then you see other characters that are actually pretty good, or at least it looks like Shift Up is learning how to make better characters. Again, we could say Rei is a filler, but I'm gonna be leaving her unusable. I feel she has been getting usage on almost all of the raids. I wouldn't say for endgame content or overall campaign pushing, that I will leave the other characters instead. But that's how I would put my tier list on how fast the characters get actually pushed out of the meta after being released when it comes to abnormal units. I think Shift Up is learning. I think they have improved a lot in terms of the collaborations. My problem is what they'll do in the future and if they will even bother buffing them or not. I will never understand why Shift Up is like so against buffing characters. And when I mean a buff, I don't mean a fucking treasure. I mean just make a patch, there is a few characters with change, these are their newer skills, bye bye, and they leave. Okay? Just leave the treasures for the background and the extra story because they are not worth anything else for the most part. Do let me know if you guys agree or would move some of these characters down or think they are already completely out of the meta, like for example 2B, because we rarely see her, right? And also what's your opinion on both rays, because to me both rays are kind of like more copium characters rather than actual meta units or characters that are consistently used, but also I'm kind of a hater. She has something I don't like. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like her. That said, we're live every single day. Link in the description down below. Good luck with your pool, degenerates. I'll see you in the next one.